I did say this video was coming, and it's gotta keep milking it, So, hi guys, and welcome to sort of a frequently asked questions and sort of like tips sort of thing for travel to North Korea. I went when I was 17, which is, it's about 2.5 years ago now, and people still find it absolutely incredible. Well, not even incredible, they just find it absolutely mind-blowing that someone at that age would even want to go to a place such as North Korea. But, I'm going to answer all the questions that most people do have in this video, so hopefully I can just sort of, redirect them rather than having to repeat myself over and over again, even though it's usually me who brings it up. So without further ado, let's jump into these frequently asked questions. When people ask me this question, I don't really know. I usually say, it was just a laugh or it was just a... But if I remember correctly, we were looking at holidays to sort of Croatia, and at the time I was watching the sort of I think it was a channel called Fun for Louis, and he was doing 10 days in North Korea, and I was like, wow, wouldn't it be amazing to go? I also watched Vice documentary on going to North Korea and the BBC Panorama documentary about going to North Korea. So I was really fascinated at the time, thinking, how cool would it be to go? And so I did a bit of looking, and yeah, I found tours, and I thought, and me and my brother discussed it, and we were like, yeah, why not? Let's just go. So I went with a tour company called Koryo Tours. There are other ones available. This is not free promotion. But I went with a tour company called Koryo Tours. They offer budget tours to North Korea. So I went for, it's 5 days / 4 nights budget tour, which was good because I was 17 and I didn't have much money. So in the end, in total, it cost me around $2,000 because you got to fly to China first. You can't get any flights directly to Pyongyang. Not really surprising, but you fly from either Beijing or Shanghai or Shenyang. I can't really remember the other destination. So I just applied through them. I gave them all details, paid the money, and they sorted all my visas and all my plane tickets and everything for me. So I didn't have to do any of that myself. I didn't have any problems with it. I was surprised because I thought my age would be a bit of an issue, but no, they were more than happy to take me, which was nice. So yeah, there was not. It's not really much like, I had to smuggle myself in. I know some people do have to go to Shenyang and then Shenzhen and then bribe people to try and get in. I didn't have to do that, which is I know it makes for a bit of a boring story, but it's easier than you might think. Surprisingly not. I was really, really hyped to go. I know in my videos I never sort of express how sort of hyped I was, but I woke up that morning and I was like, I'm going to North Korea today. Why not? It sort of hit me. I was in China, just saying, I'm in China. It was sort of taking that in because I was thinking China's a country that I'd never thought I'd visit, let alone twice and even potentially 3 times. So I was sort of overwhelmed by the fact that I was in China going, wow, this is China, it's Beijing, But then, I sort of then landed in North Korea and, I was really sort of hyped to go, so I wasn't really scared. At the time, there were quite big tensions between North Korea and the United States, but we were sort of assured that nothing would really affect our travel and we would be safe. So I sort of took it from this company that been doing tours for a very long time. So I sort of definitely put a lot of trust in them and a lot of faith in them, and I didn't. At the end of the day, I didn't really have anything to worry about. Now, this is a question I do get a lot because there are a lot of people who have gone to North Korea and complained horrifically about the food, but as a vegetarian, it wasn't too bad. There were definitely lots of things I could eat, and they made it so that I could eat at every place that we went. There was vegetarian stuff prepared for me, which was nice. The ones in the food in the hotel, breakfast and that, it was basic, but it was all right. Lunches, they always sort of with the lunch and tea, they sort of, or dinner, they always, it was never the same 2 nights in a row. So I know only being there 5 nights, it's not likely you're gonna have the same stuff over and over. But they always took us to different places, and we always had different things. I look back on that sort of royal dinner thing that we had in Quezon. It was probably the worst food that we had, but there was a lot of dishes, so it was not like if you ate all of that you would have been absolutely stuffed. But I very much pick and choose what I had to eat, and I never was ever going, oh, I'm really really hungry, and like all the stuff I've had today is not sort of, I never sort of felt that. And sometimes we went to places and the food was really really good, and it wasn't so bad. Well, I did a 4-part vlog series on it, so yeah, you can take photos, you can take videos, but there are certain rules. So before we went into North Korea, flew to Beijing to have a briefing with the tour company, and they told us sort of outright what we could take photos of, what we couldn't take photos of, and the guides would often tell you, like, yes, you can take photos here, or no, you can't take photos here. The main rules for photography were that you couldn't take photos of any military personnel. Railway stations was also no, because railway stations are often used as military bases and harbour a lot of military stuff. So no, you couldn't take photos of railway stations. I'm really struggling to think. There was not really too much. It was just, if you were ever unsure, you'd ask. And sometimes they would tell you, and they would always try and tell you explicitly, right, you can take photos here, you can't take photos here. So you never was sort of like sneakily filming thinking, oh, I don't know if I'm going to get in trouble, because you knew most of the time that you wouldn't get in trouble. Like when I was on the coach, I knew that I could film out the windows, but there was a point when we were driving down to the DMZ where they said, right, from here on, no filming. Like, no filming out the window, there's a lot of military presence here, therefore it's one of the main rules, therefore you can't take photos. So I stayed at 2 hotels while in my short time in North Korea. So I stayed at the Sonsan Hotel in Pyongyang, and then I stayed at another, I don't remember the name of it, hotel in Pyeongseong. The Sosan Hotel was very nice. It was bloody massive. Like, I made a sort of remark in one of my videos saying I'm only on the 24th floor. Only on the 24th floor. But it was absolutely huge. And it was like a sports hotel, so it was like kiss out, so you could play like pool. There was a karaoke machine, so there was a pool. There were bars, there were sort of anything you could really ask for in the hotel. It was very accommodating, as you can imagine they were for foreign tourists. So, but I did like the hotel. The beds weren't, like in Korea, they quite like, and that sort of part of Asia, they quite like firm mattresses. So you couldn't even sort of like complain, because it was just the way it was. The room was quite nice. Yeah, the water turned yellow at one point and the TV rarely worked, but you sort of expected that. Onto the hotel in Pyeongchang was a lot more basic. It was, well, I would say quite basic. You know, it wasn't the most extravagant hotel I've ever stayed at, but I would actually say it's far from the worst hotel I've stayed at. Had a nice little bar. The bartender was incredibly friendly. He was very nice. Um, and they didn't ask for ID, so I could drink. To be honest, I could drink the entire time I was there. They never seemed to sort of bat an eyelid. The fact that I was 17, they would serve me alcohol if I wanted it. I often didn't bother, but you know, I knew it was there if I wanted it. But that hotel was a little bit more real. You know, it definitely lacked the extravagance of the Sosan in Pyongyang. I guess because it's not more a place where tourists regularly stay. So you know, the room was not as nice, but it was actually really really big. Like we had like a whole sort of lounge area. But a huge bathroom, but the bathroom light didn't work, so it was always really dark in there. The shower didn't work, so you had like a thing of warm water, like a tub of warm water that you would wash yourself with. It's not not brilliant, but you just had to make do. The beds were all right, and I slept quite well there. But I slept quite well because the days were so long, and you'd do so much that by the end of the day you'd completely crash, and then you knew you had to be up at like 6, 7 in the morning, so you'd make sure that you'd get plenty of sleep. I guess this is the most important question. Did I enjoy it? Yes, I did. I absolutely loved the trip, and hopefully I get to go back again. I really do hope that I get to go back again. You know, most people go, "Oh my God, you're contributing to the North Korean government." It's just not true. It's just I just want to say it's a load of bullshit, really. You're giving most of your money to the tour company, so KRTC, which is the Korean International Tour Company, and then Koryo, I'm also paying for doing all my visas and everything. So the money isn't, it's not like I'm funding the nuclear governments or their nuclear bombs. It's just not the way it works. But I certainly did enjoy it. You know, I absolutely loved the trip. It was a pity that it was only 5 days. It was like, wow, it's over so soon. And then I was back in school a few days later. So I've went from Pyongyang back to Beijing. Stayed in Beijing one night. Flew back the next morning. Back to Britain. A couple of days later, I was back in school. So it was like I couldn't really stay much longer. But if I was to ever go back, they offer longer tours. So I'm thinking, why not go for a week? I know they do one for 3 weeks. So, get to go places I didn't go before. And, it would be a lot of fun. So guys, that's all from me. If you did like this video, make sure to leave a like and make sure to hit that subscribe button down below and hit the bell notification to get notified of every upload that I do. Hopefully you'll be able to make more of these sort of travel tips sort of thing, and include some more, sort of post some more footage of my time in places like Japan and stuff that I've done recently. So if you do want to keep up to date on all that, do hit that subscribe button and hit the bell notification. My name's been Lou Edwards, and thank you for watching. Goodbye.